My name's Harry, I'm 14, and I did a wolf run to raise money for Northamptonshire Health Charity.
Hi, my name is Ria. I am Harry's mum. Harry was a patient here at Northampton General in January this year.
I was paralysed down my right side because I had meningitis and a brain infection, and it felt quite weird. I felt like I could move, but couldn't at the same time.
We tried to get him up for school one morning after being perfectly fine the day before, and he ended up being rushed into Northampton General with meningitis and encephalitis, which is a brain infection. So he was very poorly, in critical care.
It just felt quite strange.
So I don't think we realised how serious it was until the paramedics arrived. It became very apparent very quickly that he was in quite a bad way. Harry's always been a really healthy, sporty, active boy. His infection caused full-side sort of paralysis down his arm and his leg, lost the ability to speak. He was put into the high dependency unit in Paddington, where he had a nurse with him 24/7. It's a really sort of scary time when we weren't sure what was going to happen as his condition sort of deteriorated.
I don't remember much of it. I only remember the last 2 weeks of when I was in Paddington. And I couldn't really speak, and I just felt quite lonely, because I just felt trapped.
Yeah, really uncertain and quite frightening times. As the infection clears, some of his motor functions would come back. We went to his consultant about a month ago. He's had lots of neurological tests. We were in last week again for an MRI to see where he's at, and he is one of the very few that has completely recovered. We have no long-term physical effects, no long-term neurological effects. He's been able to return back to school full-time. Future is bright again. So the play team did come to support Harry. Obviously, he wasn't able to move one side, wasn't able to speak or communicate, but they came and brought in a couple of different sort of games and things that he could participate in, and would also help with some of his sort of speech and communication. So that was really nice. They were really supportive. It was a real unknown. Brains are funny things. Harry is at an age where, as he's sort of ranging into adulthood, so that was going to give him a good chance of some kind of recovery. They didn't know whether he would regain the use of his leg again, whether he'd regain the use of his arm again. We didn't know if he'd play computer games or play rugby.
I play for Brook Badgers. I play quite a few positions. I play prop, hooker, second row, scrum half and flanker.
It's middle row. So you were, the guys who lift in the air. So you were that before you were ill.
Now I'm being lifted.
But now he's being lifted because now he's not one of the bigger ones anymore, because you lost quite a lot of weight while you were poorly.
Yeah.
They're incredibly supportive while in the hospital, sending lots of messages.
Felt quite nice, and my team helped me get through hospital. It was one of the reasons why I wanted to get out, to start playing rugby again. Helped me out a lot whilst I was in hospital, and as I got out, they helped me out, just getting back in. They also helped me do the mud run to raise money.
And they were the ones, about 20 of them, along with other brothers and sisters of some of the rugby players, then helped take part in the wolf run to raise money for the play appeal.
I wanted to give something back to the hospital after I got better. You saw that there was the playground fundraising. So we started to do that because I couldn't really go out whilst I was in Paddington. So I wanted other people to be able to go out and have something nice to go out. So then we looked at the wolf run, which my rugby team did as well. My favourite part about the wolf run was probably going to the river at the end, because it was a warm day when we did the wolf run. It was quite cool, the river, wasn't it? Yeah, it was really fun. Our team's talking about doing it again at the end of next season. We went in the forest clean and came out really muddy, didn't we? No. And we had to swim across the river. There's also this little muddy lake water area, which we ended up having to go through as well. We ended up raising £2,310. I did the wolf run to say thank you to Northampton Hospital and to give something back. We did a GoFundMe, and we shared it to local villages and my school. Yeah, a lot of people donated.
So a lot of people were aware of Harry and how he'd been struck down literally overnight. We're told that this is something that can affect anyone. So it shocked a lot of people, and lots of people wanted to support Harry in any way they could. This was a great way for Harry to bring something positive out of something so negative, but also to raise money for an area that hopefully we will never have the need for, we will never need to see. And in an ideal world, no one would ever need this area because they're not having to be in hospital with their children and family. But it's a really important thing, and I know would have made a huge difference to us. It would have had a really big impact on like Harry's younger sister to not see him in a hospital bed, having been so worried and not having a full understanding of what was wrong with him. It'd been quite nice to be able to go somewhere and just to be able to play a game, be outside, have some fresh air. Whilst he couldn't play rugby following the brain infection, he wasn't allowed to do any tackling or play any of his games for 12 weeks, which you found extremely difficult. So being able to train for the Wolf Run gave him sort of good focus, and doing it for such a good cause as well. Something that would have made a huge difference if we'd have had that accessible area whilst we were in Paddington. It would have made a big difference to Harry's recovery, well-being mentally, and also to us as a family. It would have made a big difference as well, which is why we really wanted to support it. Okay, so this is the play area in its current state. The floor's really uneven. The steps here meant this would have been completely inaccessible for Harry. In terms of activities for him, there isn't anything. You know, he's a young teenager, but he's still a child, still needing that sort of stimulation and a bit of play and just a bit of distraction. And there wouldn't be anything here that's suitable for him, either physically or sort of mentally to play with. So not really appropriate, even though Harry would be on a children's ward. There is nothing really for him other than we could wheel him out to this patio area so he could get a bit breath of fresh air. So it'd be really great for this to be revamped. For my daughter as well, there's a few things, she's a bit younger, a few things that she could access, but she wouldn't have been able to do that with Harry. And for us to spend some time as a family, just outside, away from sort of all the testing and all the beeping machines, this just wouldn't have really worked.
If I was here when I was in hospital, I wouldn't be able to go upstairs. So it'd be better if there was like a ramp or something. Or say if someone who couldn't get up the stairs couldn't access that area. So maybe just add like a basketball hoop somewhere around here. Because I use that quite a lot. Also maybe that foosball table. Again, it's good for like a lot of the, I'd say, younger people. I feel like people my age would also struggle to fit in that as well, because we're quite a bit bigger. I think it'd be good if we got like play equipment that could be suitable for most ages. It'd make it easier as well for some of the older kids just to take a break mentally. Because I was indoors for all the time I was in Paddington, so it'd just be nice just to have some for it to be a bit more easily accessible and just to have some time outside.
To find out more about the play area, click the link below.